look, you've been saying that the Nuggets don't really like to play defense at all, and the Grizzlies are who they are. I'm just so tired of doing the if with the Clippers that I just don't want to do it, but I might have to because they have actually been playing more than they have in the past with everybody on the floor. So you have to pay attention to that. But it's been so long. To me, Bonte, it's the same idea as what we thought in the past. What are the chances that you think both Paul George and Kawhi will stay healthy throughout the course of a playoff run? There's no reason for me to believe that they will.
Yeah, no. And even if they do, they're missing something. They have a lot of parts.
Yeah.
But it feels like they don't go well together. Like, Paul George at crunch time, is he going to have the ball in his hands? Kawhi Leonard, more of an ISO type of guy right now. Doesn't get it. Everybody's watching around him. Norman Powell's a nice piece off the bench, but he goes into a mode to where he just wants to get his.
Yeah.
Clippers, they're interesting to me. I'm watching them at the deadline to see what they do. I know they were in on the Kyrie Irving sweepstakes. Let's see what the Clippers do. But if I'm the Warriors, after listening to Howard Becky's right, the Lakers are the Lakers. Mm-hmm. You never know what you're going to get every single day.
No.
The Memphis Grizzlies, you know how I feel about them. The Mavericks, we'll see. We'll see with Kyrie. Kyrie's a cold-blooded killer, though. We just saw what he did to Chaser a couple weeks ago. Kyrie Irving is a cold dude. I was still, if they could just stabilize things without Steph Curry, you go 5-4 over the next 9. You're probably going to be right around that 6, 7, 8 range. Mm-hmm. Sacramento, as he mentioned, Sacramento got cooked yesterday by New Orleans. Nobody was playing in that game, but they got cooked. I would still feel good about there's some hope.
Yeah.
There is some hope if you're a Warrior fan right now. I don't think it's all doom and gloom.
No, if it was, I don't even know, the Mavericks at the top or a team that has at least, and I know the Grizzlies have been in it, but the Grizzlies are dealing with a lot going on, and Ja comes out and says that the whole situation with the drive-by laser situation, it's all cap. He says that on his Twitter. So they're just a complete mess. The Mavericks, you got to keep an eye on. If we're doing this in the opposite way and just saying who could kind of get there, you got to see what the Mavericks do. I would go Mavericks, Clippers, and Nuggets. Those are the three that you know what you have with the Grizzlies. The Kings, it's not this year for the Kings. They're on their way up. But it's the Mavericks, the Clippers, and the Nuggets. Those are the three for me you'd have to keep an eye on.
So 29 games left for the Golden State Warriors. They're 27-26. 27-26 with 29 games left. And I'm doing the math in my head here, Alan. Can they go, say, 17-12? Can you, if you go 17-12, go 17-12, that gets you to 44 wins. Mm-hmm. 44 wins may get you a 6 seed. Can the Warriors go 17-12 over the next 29? I don't know. 888-957-9570. Are you done with the Warriors this season? Is the season over? Is it not their year? Do you make a move? There's so many questions on the table for what Bob Myers and Joe Lacob and Steve Kerr have to come together and do.
Yeah.
Do you add a piece? Because it looks like, number one, it looks like Wiseman's out the rotation. So what do you do there? Moody looks like he's out of the rotation. Do you think about moving him? Do you keep them? Do you develop them? Warriors in a weird spot right now coming off a championship.
Right. Do you think that when it comes to Wiseman, we have no clue what his value is? We don't know if Bob Myers is getting hung up on when he brings up Wiseman and Moody. But do you think the Warriors are to a point with Wiseman where they might be willing to do a deal that may not look great because of where Wiseman was picked, but ultimately this is a guy that can't get on the floor? So I'd rather trade you for maybe a little less value than I would have liked to get somebody that can actually play with us? Or do you think they'd rather hold on to him and see what happens, I don't know, next year or whatever the case is? Because he's coming up for an extension soon.
I think the organization could be split.
Mm-hmm.
The front office and the ownership group may think, let's keep Wiseman. There's something there. He's a skilled offensive player. There's some untapped potential. Let's develop him. Let's keep him under wraps while we have this team-friendly contract. And maybe the coaching staff is saying, look, we're not playing this dude. Mm-hmm. You want us to win? You want us to maximize Steph Curry and Draymond Green and Klay Thompson and Looney and Wiggins and Jordan Poole and DiVincenzo, Kuminga. We can't play this guy. We need help. I think there's a split.
Yeah.
I think the coaching staff, and I don't know anything, right? I'm just speculating here. It feels like the coaching staff has lost faith in James Wiseman. They're not playing him in blowouts. Mm-hmm. If they're at full strength, he's not playing with you up 23 against the Dallas Mavericks.
No run.
Without Luka Doncic.
Zero run.
Don't even take your warm-up off. And I'm sure the front office is thinking, and Joe Lacob is like, yo, play the kids.
Yeah.
This is why we did this whole two-timeline thing. Play the kids.
But you can't do that when you've been blowing leads, and they ended up blowing the lead anyway,
Right.
But nothing is safe right now. So, look, we can't – Steve Kerr is saying we can't mess around and take these chances and play the kids and end up in bad situations. We're still trying to win now. This is why the two-timeline thing is so difficult.
So I don't know what they do. Because the Wiseman thing feels like they've lost faith. The coaching staff, at least, has lost faith in him. So do you want to trade the kid just to give him a chance to play elsewhere? Do you want to get somebody for now? Kelly Olynyk, Utah Jazz, under contract for next season. He's a guy that I think, does he help you win a championship? I don't know, but he gives you 15 minutes a night.
You're going to get on the floor.
He's going to get on the floor. He knows how to set a screen. He knows how to pick and pop. He knows how to hit a three. Mm-hmm. He knows where to be defensively. Is that the type of move? Would fans be okay with that if you traded Wiseman for Olynyk?
That's exactly right, because value-wise, based on where Wiseman got picked, oh my gosh, that's a terrible deal. What a waste. But do you just eat it at this point and say, look, this is a guy that's going to be able to produce for us. Wiseman cannot. It could call it fit, call it just where he is in his career. It's not working. So I'd rather get something back for something that I'm getting nothing out of than hold on to that nothing, hoping to get more of nothing. Right. You're getting nothing right now.
Right.
You don't even want to put him on the floor. So Kelly Olynyk, that might have to be what the value is.
Maybe. Let's go to Tamir in Oakland. Tamir, what's happening? You're on the Rolls here on 95.7 The Game. What's going on, Tamir?
Hey, what's up, man? Bonte, you know me. I always had questions when we would call in and talk about Steve Kerr. But I feel like I'm not worried about the Warriors. I always have confidence in them. But I want to see Kerr and the other Hall of Famers on the team win without Steph, because the record shows that they have a losing record without Steph Curry.
Right.
So I feel like this is the time for us to see what Klay's about, what Draymond's about, and what Coach Kerr's about without Steph Curry. They have to prove that to a certain point, because eventually that time will come when Steph's not going to be part of the team. So it's a learning part that we have to see as fans that we got to get used to as well. And if I'm them, like you just said about not playing Wiseman, trade him and let him go somewhere else to become something. If we're not going to use him, try to get a player that Steve Kerr will use, because he likes to use veterans over young dudes. So why not make a trade for a veteran that's under contract for the next couple of years?
No doubt. Good call, Tamir. I'm with you there. The Warriors' record without Stephen Curry, lifetime, 74 and 138. But let's just look at the last couple seasons. All right, this season, with Steph Curry, they're 20 and 18. Without him, 7 and 8. Not bad. Mm-hmm. Not bad. You're hovering around 500. Last year, 8 and 10 without Stephen Curry, 45 and 19 with. The year before, the pandemic season, where they lost in a play-in tournament, 37 and 26 with Steph Curry, 2 and 7 without Stephen Curry. All right, we know about the 15-win season, 14 to 46 without him. But even with Kevin Durant, 2018-19, without Steph Curry, 5 and 8, with Steph Curry, 52 and 17. The Warriors, not good without Stephen Curry, for the most part. They don't have a 500 record without Stephen Curry. All right? That's obvious. So can they go 500 without Stephen Curry this go-around? Well, you have an all-star in Andrew Wiggins. You have Klay Thompson coming off his best month of his life in basketball. Averaged 27 a game in January. Shot 45% from three. Career numbers in January. Draymond Green's playing some great basketball right now. 17-99 Saturday night against the Dallas Mavericks. Loon Dog is eating up the glass. Should have enough to get past the OKC Thunder tonight. should have enough to compete against the Blazers Wednesday night, should have enough to compete against the LA Lakers, should have enough to beat the Wizards next Monday, should have enough to compete against the Clippers next Tuesday. So, can you stay 500? Because around the West this isn't going anywhere. Like, the Clippers aren't separating. The Suns aren't separating. But maybe, like you mentioned earlier, maybe one of these teams do get hot. Like, I'm looking at the Phoenix Suns right now, going to Boston and winning Friday night without Devin Booker.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the team that gets hot. Maybe the Dallas Mavericks slide. Maybe the Kings slide. I don't know. But can you stabilize the season without Steph Curry? They got no choice, Alan.
They don't. I'm looking at Jordan Poole on line 1, Andrew Wiggins on line 2, and obviously Klay Thompson on line 3. Klay's been the guy that we have been able to count on the most when Steph has been out. That stretch that you talked about in January, Steph was out, for a bit of that, and Klay had it going. Jordan Poole, to me, is huge. And another thing to think about, Bonte, is because of this Steph Curry injury, now what happens to your boy, Ty Jerome? Because he's going to have to get these minutes. We know he's close on that the two-way deal.
Yeah.
What happens there? Because you have to play him.
Ahmad Z feels like it's over. It's done. My family, they barely beat OKC. Tonight will not be an easy game. Hell no, it won't be. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander's a baller. And I haven't even checked the injury report whether or not Lou Dort's going to play. So
didn't it get close in Oklahoma City?
Yeah, they cut it to 2
with the Warriors.
They cut it to 2.
Yeah,
they were down 20-21. They cut it to 2. So no, it's not going to be an easy game. Josh Giddey's a hell of a player. So no, it will not be easy. People believe it's over. Is it over for this season? I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. 888-957-9570. Trade deadline coming up on Thursday in the NBA. Saw a big-time deal. Kyrie Irving going to the Dallas Mavericks. Spencer Dinwiddie, Dorian Finney-Smith going to Brooklyn, as well as an unprotected 2029 first-round pick and second-round picks in 2027 and 2029. Also, Markieff Morris going back to Dallas. He's a throw-in in his move. He wasn't playing in Brooklyn. Maybe he gets some run in Dallas.
He can do some things. I mean, he might be nice on the Warriors. Be completely honest with you.
Markieff Morris hasn't played a lot. I know I believe he had some history with Luka Doncic.
I get confused with those guys, man. They always got something going on. The Morris.
No, it wasn't him. It was his brother. It was Marcus Morris who had to beef with Luka Doncic.
Well, they're twins, so
right.
It's the same thing.
But Markieff probably had some. He has some funk too.
Yeah.
Got to jumpstart Jordan Poole here.
You have to
jumpstart Jordan Poole. 3 points on Saturday night, 4 turnovers. Andrew Wiggins, no rebounds Saturday night. Those two guys have to play a lot better if the Warriors want to make a run here at the Sting. Injury report coming up in about 5 minutes. George Sedano joining us at 8:30. He's down in the L.A. area. He was covering the Warriors game Saturday on the sidelines for ESPN. Lubman, what you got?
Yeah, you're bringing up the injury report for tonight. Lou Dort is listed as out for tonight. So just want to update you there.
Oh, the torture chamber. Not in the building.
Good. Got to cook. You have to. What are your thoughts on Andrew Wiggins? And I'm seeing some chatter because he did ball out in a contract year. What are your thoughts about Andrew Wiggins, and was the last year a flash in the pan?
Oof. I don't think it's a flash in the pan.
Yeah.
I think last year was legit. And before he suffered that right adductor strain, the splits are wild. The splits are wild. He was shooting 45% from 3 before he suffered that injury. He was shooting 51% from the floor before that injury. That, to me, Alan, tells you that it wasn't a fluke. Now, was he playing the defense at the level he was in the postseason? No. It's a regular season. Nobody's really playing at that level.
Yeah.
But I don't think it was a flash in the pan. Now, the right adductor strain, the non-COVID illness, he doesn't have his legs back. There's a lot of weird things that's been happening on the basketball team. Klay early on chucking shots. Jordan Poole trying to find his. I don't believe it's a flash in the pan. You?
No, I don't think it's a flash in the pan. I think that Andrew Wiggins is a guy who just levels up in certain situations. He's a very good playoff player because, all right, my job is to just lock this dude down, and he can take it to another level. We saw it at the beginning of last year because last season he got off to that hot start, and he ends up being an all-star. Towards the end of the season, wasn't as hot. So he's just a guy who it's funny. It's almost as if he's the streakiest, not streaky guy in the world, because you'll look at his points once he gets back to it. His 17 is always his 17, but he just does it in a lot of different ways. But right now, he can't even get to the 17.
No,
that's the problem. But
he can't get to the 17.
You got to get to that, and you got to do a little bit more than that based on what Klay Thompson and Jordan Poole are doing, because you have Steph Curry out. That's the thing with Andrew Wiggins, and has been the knock, but also been the good thing about Andrew Wiggins. He's been steady Eddie. You know what you're going to get.
Right.
And right now, you don't know what you're going to get. And this is the time where you need him the most, right? You need everybody. Everybody is on notice right now, because this is a really important stretch, and it could have been a worse time, because you could not have All-Star break to lean on. But either way, you're running out of time to catch back up.
So he missed basically a month of the season. From January 5th until, December 5th. He was out December 5th against Indiana. He didn't come back until January 7th. All right? So he missed a month of the season. Before that, in 22 games, 19 points, 5 rebounds, 45% from 3, 51 from the field. And since he's gotten back, he's played in 11 games. 11 games, folks. It's not been pretty.
No.
It's not been pretty at all. Shooting 25% from the three-point line. 25%, Allen. 52 from free throws. That's not good enough. 12.5 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 37% from the floor he's shooting since he's been back in those 11 games.
And those threes are open, because that's
wide open.
That's why he's been so good on this team, because you can't guard Klay and Steph and Jordan Poole and Andrew Wiggins. So no offense to Andrew Wiggins, doesn't really matter how high your percentage is. We got to leave you open, and right now he's not able to capitalize.